I always thought about harming myself.
I'm shy. I struggled with making friends.
I never thought I could do anything. I have extremely low self esteem.
Lately, I've been eating my pain away. Just throw it back up. I've been struggling to lose weight.
Somebody said I don't fit in just because I wear my hair the way I like it.
1 out of 5 American girls suffer from mental health problems. Don't be that girl. Talk to someone.
Those thoughts I had are long gone, for I have a future I need to get to.
In order to get better, I had to do better. I learned how to make friends.
I believe in myself. That's when everyone else did, I set an example.
Instead of me eating everything, I started watching my calories. The weight is falling off.
I wanted to change my hair, but I decided it was for me. It's for me.
A PSA from the Curvy Girl Project.
And good morning, and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and we have a very, very lively conversation with two very special guests. And we're going to be talking about relationships over the age of 50. So you don't want to miss this. Even if you're not over 50, you may soon be 50. So you don't want to miss this. Our call-in numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. And our website is www.tv33whpr.com. And you are watching us live from the phenomenal cities of Detroit, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Mike Duggan, as well as the phenomenal city of Highland Park, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Glenda McDonald. And before we get started, just a good friend of mine, Ishmael Terry, is going to be with his organization called All for One. They're going to be giving away 100 bicycles this Saturday in the Brightmoor area. And it's going to be this coming Saturday, and it's July the 29th. It's going to be at Crowell Recreation Center, and that's located at 16630 Lasher, right there near Grand River. And the bicycles are going to be for the ages, probably looking at elementary and middle schoolers. But it's going to be free for the first 100 that get there. So you want to get there early so you don't miss out on a bicycle for your child, your grandchild, or your niece or your nephew. But the main thing is, once those 100 go, that's it. So you want to make sure that you get there early. Just want to kind of want to thank Dr. Sharon Dumas. She just recently had a health, love, and music fair that was held at the Center for Creative Studies this past Saturday. Phenomenal event. A lot of guests, a lot of vendors, a lot of activities for young people. I hosted a youth summit, and also Mr. Hill Harper, the entertainer, he's on TV, he's written books, and he's also a movie star, was there, and he gave encouraging words to a lot of the people that came to the event. So it was a great event that everybody had. Okay, let's talk today about relationships over 50. And my two guests today, one is no stranger to Expose Under the Sun, and she is Miss Vicki Dobbins, and the other is a new person to come on Expose Under the Sun, and we hope she's this is not going to be her last time. And this is Miss Letitia Sharp. Miss Sharp, Ms. Dobbins, welcome to Expose Under the Sun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, Darwin, again, I have to thank you so very much. You know, this is not my first time. I love coming on the show. I love talking about our different subjects. We have talked about Ida Wilder's River Rouge, school districts. And we now are going to talk about my new book, The Bachelor and the Bachelorette, and how much fun it is to date after 50.
Okay, well, I can tell from that smile, it must still be fun.
It's
dating
great.
After the age of 50.
It's great, and guess what? It's getting better. The fun thing is that it's not slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting better. We're finding more things to do, more people that we meet, more cruises that we take. What can I tell you, Darwin? It's been great. So for all those people that are over 50 and you find that there's nothing for you to do, yes, there are lots of things to do. So let's talk about it.
Okay, and Miss Sharp, welcome back to the End of the Sun.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I am so excited to be here. I want to give a shout out to Miss Vicki. I did read her book, and I hope we're going to talk more about it. And she signed it for me before we got here. So thank you so much. But
Did you want to see, what did she say?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Miss Vicki said, to Letitia, thank you for your support and joy. And I want you to know, when I got my book, I ordered it on Amazon, so it is available on Amazon. I got it on Amazon, and I was able to read it in one day. It was an easy read.
It's easy.
But it was very, it was, for me personally, it gave me a perspective from another woman.
Yes.
And so it's good sometime when we're talking about dating
Yes.
to get perspectives from other folks as well.
Exactly.
Because I think that dating over 50, I refer to as adult dating. It's like grown-up dating. It's a time in your life when you've probably experienced a lot of things, and so you can enter it in a different way than you did when you were younger.
Exactly.
So I'm excited about the conversation.
Yes.
Get the book. Shout out to Miss Vicki. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Vicki, when you wrote the book, what was the main purpose of why you and The Bachelor wrote the book?
So, as we started off, it's so new and it was so different that I wanted not to forget everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes when you read it, you'll see where I was in one place and then in another place, and then maybe in another place of the relationship or wherever we happen to be at that particular time, maybe out for dinner, maybe dancing, maybe, so I just didn't want to forget those special times that we were having together. So I was just writing. And when I talked to people who talked to one of my special friends, Dr. Leonard, last night, and she said, when you're writing your book, write your notes. Just write notes so that you don't forget when you want to go back to it. Date it, write it, so that you can remember what it was like, I think in my book, in my next book, I will be more detailed, okay? I will put more color to it in my upcoming book.
What I found very interesting is that you were very honest about some things that sometimes people are just not honest about.
Yes.
So in one part of the book, when you were, I don't want to give it away because I want them to get it and buy it.
Yes.
But one part of the book, you talk a little bit about how you were at a place that he wasn't quite there yet.
Probably,
and,
yes.
Yeah, and I think when you're dating over 50, it's very important to talk about where you are, what your intentions are, and what you're actually looking for, if you're looking for anything in a relationship. And I like the honesty in that.
Yeah.
And I think that you can build off of that.
And I think that all go through that. So one thing that I did say in the book was that I was waiting for him to call me, and he hadn't called.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Maybe he changed his mind.
Right.
Maybe he decided to go, in another direction, So when he called me, I was thinking, oh my God, he actually called. I'm so excited about this. What do I do? And it just began to flow really nice in a mature adult way. We weren't asking each other, well, where you been? Well, what were you doing? Well, who are you with? That wasn't the question. The thing was that we got back together over maybe a week or so, and that our conversation continued from where it was, okay? There was no background check to it.
Right.
Okay. And it was just wonderful. So, yes, I did write that. And I did want to remember exactly how it went.
And sometimes I think too, the pause in him or her calling, because I don't
Yes.
see anything wrong. I want to make this clear, ladies. I don't see anything wrong with you making the call. Right? If you're interested in someone, it's okay. Call them just to say hi. You can fill them out, whatnot. But I think that the delay in making the call, whether it's him or her, is that cleaning out some stuff. Because like sometimes you can meet someone and you
Yeah.
want to go for it basically, but you need to clean out some stuff in your life.
So, also, I like to say for the young ladies, don't be too anxious.
Right.
What I have found about men like the chase. They want to be the one that pursue. Men have not changed yet. They want to call you up and ask you for a date. They want to ask you how you feel today. They want to be the aggressor, really and truly. They do not want women to call them 5 times a day. What you doing, where you going, who you with. They don't really want that. That's going to drive them crazy. And I think we're a little too aggressive sometimes. Slow down, ladies. We don't have to be in such a big hurry.
Right.
Where you going? So let the man be the man. He wants to be the aggressor. He wants to be the man in the situation. So we're going to have to step back just a little. Sometimes they say, a man think he's the one chasing when he's really not. You chasing him anyway. He doesn't know it. But let him be the aggressor. Let him tell you, I'd like to take you out. Not always what you doing tonight. Where you going? So let's let them come to us every now and then.
So let's get back to over 50.
Okay.
That's
That is
something
over
that could
50.
be applied for somebody even under 50
It could be.
to still let men be the, as you say, the aggressor. But now for over 50, what are some of the do's and don'ts that you found, Vicki, that you may have written in the book, Letitia, that you may have read in the book? What are some of the do's and don'ts? Because when I was doing my research about dating over 50, one of the main things that I found was that you've got to be truthful. That's the first and
Gotta be.
foremost. Trust is a must. You got to figure out what you want in a relationship. Are you looking for marriage? Are you looking for just somebody to be a soulmate, somebody to take trips with, go on cruises, as you said, or do things with? The other thing is that you can't stress about your past. Whether or not if you've been married once, divorced, twice divorced, 3 times divorced, you can't stress about the past. The other thing is that you've got to be yourself. You can't be anybody else other than Vicki
Right.
or Letitia. The other thing is that you can't give up. You can't just sit up here and throw in the towel and say, I'm through with dating. I'm
Right.
through with, trying
Yeah.
to go out and try and find a soulmate or to find a partner that I could go and be involved with for the rest of my life. The other thing is that, as you both were alluding to, you've got to be patient. You got to take it steady. You can't
Yes.
rush into something.
Yes.
Just because you may not have somebody to go to a ball with or to a concert with or to the movies, sometimes you may just want to go by yourself. There's no harm with going someplace by yourself, going to the movies by yourself, going to a concert by yourself, or someplace else. The other thing is that, and this is probably critical, do not trash your ex.
Oh my God.
Don't trash that ex. If that was a person that may have cheated on you, or the person may have did this, or may have did that, don't trash that person. He might not have been a great father, or he may not have been a
Great
faithful,
friend.
a good
Yeah.
friend, but don't
Leave it
trash that
alone.
person.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that you've got to make certain too that, as you just alluded to, Vicky, the friendship part. You've got to be friends first. And that's a critical part when it comes down to a relationship.
Yes.
What's your thoughts, Letitia, about being friends first, and then to expand that into something more than just friendship?
Well, I think being friends first is that is the most important part of any relationship, because then you have something to build on. If you're not friends, you anything that comes along the way, you will fall, it will crumble. So I think when you meet someone and you're collecting the data on that person and trying to figure out if that person is just going to be a friend, or if this is somebody that you grow to have some type of special feeling for and maybe want to pursue a relationship with, then you have a conversation with them to make sure that they're on the same page with you in that instance. So I do think that it's important to be friends. It's important to be truthful. And I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, actually, and he said, women over 50 are very difficult to date. And I said, what? And he said, because we don't know what you guys want. And he said, why don't you all just get shirts that say, I want this, I want this, I want this. And he was joking. And he said, I said, but then if we did that, we probably would still end up with someone that we don't really want, because it's not what we think we know what we want, but we really, I think over 50 is when you make the decision of what you don't want in your life, because everything else you can adapt to, right? So you have to be friends, you have to be honest, you have to be true to yourself. You have to know that the person that you're going to date, put in that category date, they want to date you, for you, all of you, and that you're going to grow together.
Yes.
And if you're not friends, you can't do that. And
that's
friends
what
don't hurt each other.
And that's what it be yourself.
Yeah, be
right there.
yourself.
Let me say this too, and Vicky, I'll let you address this part, is that you've got to be upfront with your age. Because I'm finding too, I was talking to somebody and they were saying that they were afraid that if they told their age to someone, that person might not want to date them, especially like if the person, let's say, was in their 70s and this person was in their 50s. Would they still, feel comfortable? Because then they start thinking about a long-term relationship with that person. The biological clock is continuing to tick. And making certain that you are upfront. Tell somebody up front, hey, if you're 75 and they're 55, fine. But there's still a lot of things that people can still have in common with each other. And then also, too, there are women that may be in their 70s that meets a guy that's in his 60s or even in his 50s and still made the same thing. So women that may be a little bit concerned about dating somebody younger or even much younger, what's your thoughts on that?
So, Darwin, what I would think is that when you look at a person and look at a person's heart, you don't have to look at his age or her age. Where are they mentally and in their heart? Who are they? Are they a person who is going to like you because of your age, or are they going to like you because you're a good person? So it just depends on what you're looking for. Over 50, you're not really concerned about age. You have your own money, you have your own car, you have your own place to stay. Maybe you have your own children. It depends on the couple. What are they looking for? I find with my partner, and we do have a lot of differences, but we have so many similarities to the differences don't matter.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So that's what we're looking for. Stop looking at age. Stop looking at how tall a person is or how short he is, how his weight size. What are we looking for? If they are good people, why you want to discriminate?
So what do you find, Letitia, are some of the deal breakers in a relationship, especially dating somebody over 50? I mean, we talked about trust. Trust is critical.
Right.
You've got to be able to trust somebody. But then at the same time, too, there's being comfortable, and having a person that you feel comfortable around that will go and like a protector, that you have. I know I was talking to somebody recently and they were talking about you want that man to be able to go and wrap his arm around you and not just provide you with the warmth from,
It's security.
but also it's the security,
Women want
especially when you're
security.
out and about someplace. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think women in general, all ages, I would say want security, but more so over 50. We want to make sure that person is our biggest cheerleader. That person has got our back.
That's right.
That person is, even when we're wrong, and a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but I believe that even when we're wrong, you should your mate, right, says that you are right in public, and maybe behind closed doors say, baby, you were all the way wrong on that one. But it's just that knowing that you have someone that has your back, supports you, and want you to be a better you in every aspect. And I think that goes both ways, male and female, but I think you find it more as a need when you're over 50, because you don't have that time to grow anyone. And usually after 50, you've been through a lot of hurts and probably caused hurts, and you've been in relationships, like Vicki said, you've done all that. So you don't have time to get someone to get to that point in their life. They should be already there. And if they're not, they're really not the person for you. And I just want to say this. Over 50 doesn't automatically give you that maturity to be able to date like we're talking. Because some folks are over 50 and still are dating as if they were much younger. No shame to the younger folks. If they got it and they're dating in a very mature way, but they're under 50, congratulations to you. But there's a lot of folks that are out there that probably are over 50 and they have the dating mentality that's like an immature way of dating. So to your point, a person who brings security and that person who is going to add to my life. Me in general, I'm saying it's going to add to my life, not take away.
Another thing, Darwin, I find that it's very interesting. Can you sit in the same room with a person over an hour and have conversation? Do you need other people around you? Do you have to, if you go to dinner, do you have to have 3 or 4 people to go, or can you go with your partners and have a great time? Okay. Can you just be with your partner and have a great time, just you and he? Okay. So that's very important too.
Right. And
because I find a lot of times people, if they don't have a lot of other people around, they don't know what to do with each other.
Right. They're bored.
Right. He's boring. She's boring. Can you go to dinner? Can you sit and watch television? Can you go to a movie? Can you drive to a vacation spot together more than 2 to 3 hours and enjoy that ride? Okay.
Can you sit on the phone like you did when you was 18 years old all night long, knowing you're sleepy?
Try 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
Try 2 or 3 hours at night.
And you wait, before when you were younger. Can you do that? You can.
And
you really can.
And just have regular conversation. It's not something that's detailed, you just
talk about
talking.
anything.
You're just talking about, listen, we love basketball and a little football and, what's on the news, what's going on in the news. Okay, can you talk about that?
Well, it's just, the thing is that people have to realize one thing, and that's that sometimes when you meet someone, they may have the same concerns that you have.
Right.
They may be in awe of you just as how you may be in awe of them.
Right.
And the one thing that I tell people too is that you're going to still make mistakes, even over 50, just like you both said.
Right.
You've experienced more, you're more mature, but there's sometimes it's that butterflies in the stomach that sometimes hits. It's that, like you said, you may be talking on the phone for hours on end like you did when you were in your teens or in your 20s. And at the same time, too, you may then also find somebody that it just doesn't click.
Good.
And you may have
Yeah.
to start back over again. But we got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
I'm going to let you each kind of say something real quick. So I'm going to do the little speed round, just like how with the dating sites. One, I'm going to just ask you a question. Just give me a yes or no. Okay. Dating sites, over 50. Yes, no. I'll ask you, Letitia, first. Yes or no?
I say no. No disrespect to the dating sites, but I would rather association, meaning somebody who knows somebody, somehow a connection. Because again, over 50, you're usually connected through work, social life, church, whatever. So
Okay. What about you, Vicki?
I agree. I like to suggest to many single people, get out, explore, join organizations, church organizations, football, basketball. There's so much out there. NAACP. We meet people, and through those connections, you will be surprised who you will meet. I am a ballroom dancer. Now, if you really want to meet somebody, come out and dance with us. And you will meet, you just meet people.
Okay.
And they're nice people. Hands-on is what I want to see. Not a dating site. You don't know who you're getting. You don't know, it could be any kind of person.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right.
So no, let's do hands-on. Meet someone that's really nice that you can actually put your hands on. You can talk to them person to person. Yes.
Okay. Vicki, what's the most appealing thing to you in a man over 50?
The most appealing thing was his personality, his attitude, his religious affiliation with the Lord and with the Bible, and somebody that likes good food.
Okay.
And and then we have something that we do together, and that's dancing. I think that having at least one thing that you do together is very, very important.
Okay. Letitia.
I have to say ditto to everything that Vicki said, but I would also like to add to that while you're out searching or looking, or even if you're not looking at all, just collect as much data on the person as possible. Find out as much as you can about people so that you can know if they are the right person for you or if you have the right interests. Don't be such in a hurry to claim this person based on how they look or where they work or things like that. Just so I think that a person who is a good fit, a good match.
Okay. And then the other thing, Letitia, when is it important to introduce him to, because we're about to wrap up, so
Okay.
we have to make this a part 2.
Okay.
But I
Part
do
2.
want to have
Everybody
you
wants
two
part
come back on the show again.
We'll be back.
Vicki, The Bachelor and the Bachelorette, make sure you get her book. Letitia, thank you for coming on the show with us today. We'll have to have a part 2 to this.
Yes.
Again, you've been watching Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun News. I would be remiss. I do want to express my sympathies and condolences to Andrea Hunter, my president for APRI, the Detroit Down River chapter. She lost her beloved baby brother, Andrew. So our heartfelt sympathies and condolences are extended to the Hunter family at this present time. Again, thank you for coming on the show. If you'd like to get a copy of the Detroit Native Sun News, who sponsors us, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart at area code 313-457-5944. Again, let someone know that you love them and you care about them. Peace.
Peace.
Here at the Full and Fabulous Curvy Girl Project, we don't just focus on health, beauty, and self-esteem. We also offer an amazing summer program for young ladies ages 12 to 18. For more information, visit our website at fullandfabulous.org. See you soon.